Hey guys, Basil and Wolf from Grayson Hobby, and today we got a whole bunch of new receivers from Radiomaster. In today's video, we're going to go over the airplane or the PWM receivers, and show you go over some details of them, show what they do, and show you some cool features that this one has that others don't.
Yeah,
there you go. All right. Like always, if this video you find it useful and helpful, hit that subscribe button and be sure to support Grayson Hobby. If it's pack of props, batteries, quad, everything. Everything ships from right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Located right outside Atlanta, Georgia. It's usually about 2 days to the entire east coast of the country.
Also check out our Facebook group. With a lot of tech support, help, stuff like that. We got a pretty good little community.
Yeah, everybody's helping each other out.
Everybody's been really good, very helpful in it. All right, guys. So today we have a bunch of new receivers from Radiomaster. We've been waiting on these for a hot minute now. They finally came in, and now it's time to show you guys some of the various ones here. We actually have more coming on top of this. I've had a ton of calls asking what's what, which is which one do I get? So let's go over this. So let's start with the basics here. We have various types of receivers. These you can see have servo pin headers. Well, you can't really see it, but these have servo pin headers for airplanes, and they can be used as drones as well. These right here, we'll talk about at a later time. These are actually S-Bus only receivers. So those are mostly for drones and flight controllers. So today we're gonna just get those out of the way and go over the three main ones that we have here for airplanes.
All right.
Okay, so what we have here is the R84, the R88, and the R168. The difference between these right off the bat is the number of channels and the protocol. These are all using the freestyle protocol, either D8 or D16. Your R84 is using D8. The R88 is also using D8. The R168 is D16, hence this 16 in there. This one has two-way telemetry, so you can get VBAT readings and RSSI onto your radio screen.
Ooh, that's gonna be my favorite right there.
Whereas the 8-channel ones would have on-screen display. If you're using a flight controller through one of the channels, it would display RSSI on that.
And this one's a little tiny one.
Yes. So the reason I like the R84 right off the bat, it's so slim. Look at this thing. It's literally like a postage stamp with pins on it. This is one thing I think Spectrum dropped the ball on years ago. They quit making N-pin design receivers, which is a great slimline design for a plane. So when you have these profile foamies, you don't want servo pins coming out vertically from the receiver to where it's just a nasty mess of wires. The R84 is an excellent choice, I think, for your basic 4-channel. If you're getting like the Tech 1 foamies, or the DW foamies.
Or anything scratch built.
Yeah, all these, pretty much any profile jobs, flight test builds, stuff like that. If you're looking to run a FrSky based radio, jumper radio, Radiomaster radio, etc., and you're looking to use the D8 protocol, or D6, if you have the ability D8 protocol, I guess you should say. This receiver is great for 4 channels of use. It's very cheap. It's under $10. It has 2 antennas for diversity. They're easy to reconnect if you ever do cut one off. Bind button's right there. You don't have to worry about jumpers or anything like that. And it's just a good small form factor receiver. I was able to get receiver voltage feeding back, but not really useful information, because if you're running a UBEC or something like that, they're pretty much the same voltage even when the battery's dead. So realistically, RSSI is about the only useful feature on that one. One thing other companies like Horizon or Spectrum kind of missed the ball, in my opinion. They got rid of a lot of the N-pin designs in the receivers for the longest time, which made really bulky builds when the pins were coming out, this way of the body. Now you can lay it all in line and make just nice, clean setups.
That's gonna be a popular one, I think.
So
right there.
I think this is great for your 4-channel 3D foamies and basic beaters. When you don't need more than 4 channels, this is awesome.
And it's D8, so it's got a good range on it.
The next one is the R88. The R88, instead of 4 channels, is now 8 channels. It has a hard plastic case instead of shrink tube. The antennas are still replaceable with connectors. The bind button is covered in a little plastic shroud here. It supports 8 channels, and there's actually a 9th channel through the accessory port on the side that will support RSSI through that as well.
Okay.
The 9th channel only does RSSI. It's just for data out. It doesn't actually work for another servo, from what I understand. I have not tested it, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said in the description on the site.
All right. My little thing right here, I like the little antenna, the little rubber protective
Yeah, they
base.
did also on the larger ones. They reinforced it. The little rubber boots here. Nice thing about that is when the plastic cases, when the antennas are pushed against them for a long time in a weird configuration and stuff like that, it tends to cut the coax cable and ends up damaging and fraying the antenna. With these little rubber boots, it kind of keeps it from doing that, so it can't tear up the antenna.
And
so that's a really nice little design there.
One thing we'll notice when we were doing a little off-camera stuff, we noticed the stickers.
Yes. Okay. So they did goof on this first batch here. If you look at the pinouts here, you'll see the little notches here. This is your signal row. So if you have a Futaba servo or Futaba-based servo with the little pin polarity plug on the side, then the signal goes to the top, powers the middle, and grounds the bottom. They did do the stickers backwards on this, and I did check it. I powered it up, and it was indeed backwards. So guys, literally either pull the sticker off, throw it away, or flip it around. Either way, I'm pretty sure this is just a first batch goof because they were trying to get these out. So chances are that will be corrected in later versions, but for the time being, until then, just double check and make sure you use the right polarity.
And it's just a sticker, no big deal.
Just a sticker, yeah.
Right.
I don't even know why they put it on the side, to be honest.
Yeah. And the last, but definitely not least.
Okay, so this is different. This one is D16 mode. D16 mode supports S-port, RSSI output, and VBAC capability up to 18 volts. So depending on how you set it up, it will support battery voltage to the radio. So you'll be able to get RSSI on your screen and battery voltage.
Wait a minute. RSSI and battery voltage?
Yeah, so
Not
you'll
receiver voltage.
not receiver voltage, actually
My
battery voltage.
actual
Up to 18 volts though. So really you're limited realistically
Really
a
a
4
4S.
cell.
But still, if you fly in the Meteor or anything like that, or this guy.
Most Park Flyer foamies and stuff like that, they're going to be setting up
Yeah.
if they're 4 cell or better or less, then great.
For an all-in-one receiver that does up to 4S battery voltage, you cannot beat.
Now it doesn't. You don't just plug it in. You have to get a power tap off your battery lead. So you will need to put the hot lead going from your battery to the pin up here for battery. We'll go over that in a later video. If you guys comment below if you want us to do a video on how to set up the VBAT telemetry, because it does require setting a little bit of calibration in the radio, etc. We can go over that in a later time.
That thing's loaded. Don't tell me there's more.
Okay, so unlike the R8s where it just has a generic failsafe where you push the buttons and it sets it, this one does have a customizable failsafe, so you can, if you want it to kill throttle, give right right banking rudder or something like that, you can customize that as well. So there's 2 different versions of failsafe.
Okay. Because a lot of times the foamies, if they're upright, they'll end up,
Yeah, typically I just set mine all neutral controls, throttle down, and hit the failsafe button regardless. But this does have the option to customize your failsafe as well on the receiver itself. So the biggest benefit of the R16 over the R88, the fact that it has S-port and S-Bus capability. So if you got a long-range system that's running a flight controller, etc., and you don't want all the mess of wires, you can run the S-Bus connection out from the receiver to the flight controller and clean it up. But you also have the amplified antennas. You'll see this version has the amplified antennas as well. So in theory, I think the range will actually be better on this one than the R88 as well. Only way to do it is get in the air and test it. But for only a few bucks each, guys, go for it. These things are... I cannot believe how cheap these are in comparison to other receivers on the market. I'm kind of blown away because they have nice plastic cases, and if this had a Spectrum logo on it, it would be $60 or more.
And more.
All right, so you can see here on the R168 receiver, you have receiver battery is actually your VBAT, and then RSSI is right there. Now, you will have to calibrate this through the offset, and I'll show you guys real quick through that. I'm trying to do this upside down, so bear with me. Go here, and you will go down to after you discover new sensors. Stop discovery, by the way. You'll go to RxBat, and then edit, and then the ratio will change. You'll change the ratio from default to whatever you need to calibrate. And you can see here on this guy, the battery we're using, I have a cell checker hooked up through. I got 5.48. So you can see here by adjusting the precision and the ratio, I was able to get pretty close to our actual battery voltage of 15.48 that you see here. And of course this cell checker might be off a little bit too, but we got pretty close there. And once you set those 2, then you just back out of everything
And just to show that this is working, this is a 4S pack, and we can show up to 4S, right?
Yeah, it's up to 18 volts max. So whatever type of battery you're doing, don't exceed 18 volts. You can damage the receiver.
Yeah, so we'll stick with 4S. You'll be good to go. Close it up. All right. What do you think about these receivers?
I'm glad that they came out because honestly, this kind of fills a blank that we've had for a while with not getting FrSky products. Just saying. But basically, the R84, great little park flyer plane,
Yep.
scratch built foamy, etc. 4-channel basic planes, awesome. Fill in the blank right there. The R88, it's cheaper. It's 8 channels. It does RSSI. It gets the job done. It's a nice hard case. So I would say this is more like your park flyer, probably sport receiver, I guess you'd say.
You put it in a Dynamo airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you have the extra $1 or $2.
Well, this one I think kind of takes the cake realistically because if you're going to get the R88, this one will fit the bill too, unless you just don't have D16 on your radio, which there are a few out there I think that only support D8, but that's pretty old radio probably. But the R168 has S-Port, it has VBAT, it has S-Bus, it's got 8 channels as well. I think, and the amplified antennas, unless you just don't want the amplified antennas because you're building like a slimline build or something like that, then I think this is probably the receiver to go with overall. However, I do think they all have a place in the family of receivers for D16 or D8.
Guys, thanks for watching, and let us know if you want to see a range test with one of these. They claim up to 2 kilometers, so that's a long way you have to walk, Will.
I ain't walking. I'll stand there. He can walk.